today's auspicious event. Allow me to extend a heartfelt welcome to our esteemed chief guest, Dr. Sandeep Sancheti sir, Vice President of Research Relations and Academic Ambassador at Elsewhere India. Our esteemed guest of honor, Dr. Shankar Gangishetty, Applied Research Scientist at CBIT, iHub Data, IIIT Hyderabad, India. Your esteemed presence adds an immeasurable value to our conference, and we are grateful for your wealth of knowledge and expertise you bring to this gathering. I would also like to extend a warm welcome to our esteemed dignitaries from the Sanjeevani family, including Honorable Shri Amitada Nitinada Kolhe, Managing Trustee of SRES, Dr. A.J. Thakur, Director, Sanjeevani College of Engineering, and our esteemed convener, Dr. P. William sir, Dean of Research and Development at Sanjeevani Group of Institutes. Additionally, a warm welcome is extended to our esteemed co-conveners, including the heads of Electrical Engineering, Mechanical Engineering, and Mechatronics Engineering Department, namely Dr. T.P. Pardeshi sir, Dr. P.M. Patari sir, and Dr. R.A. Kabhate sir, respectively. Your extraordinary leadership and unwavering dedication are instrumental in propelling our institutions towards greater heights, and we're honored to have you grace this occasion. To all the dignitaries present today here, your presence serves as a testament to your unwavering support and engagement, and we're immensely grateful for your continued commitment to our endeavors. Once again, a heartfelt welcome to each and every one of you. Let us join in hands celebrating the spirit of knowledge, innovation, and collaboration as we embark on this enriching journey of learning and discovery. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin with anything auspicious, we light the auspicious lamp. May I now request all the dignitaries on the dais to please come forward for Saraswati Pujan and lamp lighting ceremony. Marking the beginning of our conference with a positive aura, let's gather together to invoke wisdom and enlightenment as we light the lamp of knowledge, symbolizing our commitment to learning and progress.
Camera तिकडे बरोबर महत्त्वाचे आहे.
Insights are valuable to us, and we deeply appreciate your presence at this conference. Yes, thank you for gracing us with your esteemed presence, for your invaluable contribution for this event. I would now like to request our convener, Dr. P. William sir, to share a few words with us. Dr. William's expertise and dedication have been instrumental in making this conference a reality, and we eagerly await his insights.
Very good morning to one and all present here, dignitaries on the dais, respected Dr. Sandeep Sancheti sir, Vice President, Research Relations and Academic Affairs, Elsewhere India, Dr. Shankar Gangishetty sir, Project Scientist, iHub Data, IIIT Hyderabad, respected Honorable Director sir, all the heads, deans, participants, and my invited colleagues. I'd like to welcome everyone as a part of organizing committee. The aims and objective of this conference are to focus on innovative research activities on emerging converging technologies on every perspective based on national and international level. This conference covers the research concepts, grants and proposals, as we know that research is the need of the hour. So these discussions are something which will take place. In this conference, we have received 280 papers and including 50 papers from outside India. I am happy to announce that all the selected, registered and presented papers will be published by stringent proceedings, which will be indexed by Scopus. Nowadays, there is a decline in the enrollment of bright youngsters in the R&D activities. So this conference may help to encourage the young minds and the generations, especially to the belongs to this region, through the discussion with guest speakers, and which will create the culture. As we belong to rural sector, so this type of conference will create a new opportunity through a collaborative research, which will enable us to interact with everyone. As in the month of December also, we have organized IEEE conference, and after 4 months now we are having a stringent conference. And again, we have submitted proposals for other conference, and frequently we'll be conducting such things in order to bring up the kind of research culture and to provide a platform for scholars and students like who can participate. So that's all from my side. My side. Once again, I welcome all to be a part of this conference. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your kind words. Next, I would like to invite our Director of Sanjeevani College of Engineering, Dr. A.J. Thakur, sir, to guide us with his wisdom on the same note. Dr. Thakur's leadership has been a full portal in shaping our institution's journey, and we're honored to have his guidance.
So good morning. Chief guest for this today's inaugural function of the 4th International Conference on Emergent Converging Technology and Biomedical System, that is ETBS 2024. The great personality, academician and the leader, Dr. Sandeepji Sancheti sir. So welcome you to Sanjeevani campus. Who is the right now Vice President, Research Relation and Academic Ambassador elsewhere India. The speaker and the guest of honor, Dr. Shankar Kangi Sethi sir, Applied Research Scientist, CVIT, I Have Data, IIIT Hyderabad. Welcome to you all, sir, to Sanjeevani campus. Head of the organizing departments, in absentee Dr. R. Kabdate sir, Dr. D.B. Pardeshi sir, Dr. P.M. Patare sir, and the convener for this, Dr. P. William, Dean R&D, all the head of the departments, all the deans, all the participants and staff members. So first of all, I would like to welcome this great personality to Sanjeevani campus. Just I will brief you, sir, about the Sanjeevani group of institutes, its activities, its institutions. This Sanjeevani group was started its academic activity under the leadership of our Honorable Shankaraji Kolle Sahib, that portrays their digital, in 1983. He himself was agriculture graduate and That time he got the scholarship to pursue his education in the USA long back. But after studying there, he felt that I should do something for my area. So he has started his activity in the sugar industry. He was MD initially in the other companies, sugar industries, but then he started a cooperative sugar factory because the Maharashtra is very progressive, as you know, in the cooperative movement. And after that, so many institutions being started in this area. So in 1983, when Maharashtra government took the decision that we should go for the privatization of the engineering and professional institute, so that time he was having choice to start in the cities also. But he felt that if I want to really transform the life of people, then I should make the opportunity here only in their area. And with this, because that time lot of hardship was there to start the institution here, not too much connected with the proper road. Nearest station was Manmar, but in Kopargaon hardly one or two trains were that time. Air connectivity just started now. That time lot of problem, but they also started here, and with the objective that in years to come we'll grow it. And with that wisdom, we have started our activities. Then now his son, Sri Nitin Dada Kole, he is the chairman, and his grandson, Mr. Amit Kole, he is looking after the day-to-day activity. And under his leadership, lot of things are happening in the Sanjeevani. Actually, initially we started with Polytechnic and then Engineering College with 3 basic branches, Civil, Mechanical and Electronics. But now we are having many institutions. We are having Pharmacy College, we are having Ayurveda Medical College, we are having Science College, and so many good quality schools. And because of this, the lot of students of this area got the opportunity to get the quality education. Sir is not is a very big personality. Sir has worked at the different positions of the leadership, what not. So there is no any, but as we know that, sir, we are discussing about the NAC also, NB also, and sir has worked in so many committees. But sir, when no one was thinking about the NBA, we have started in this area that we should go for the NBA. And each and every department, at least 4 to 5 times, we got accredited by the NBA. Many engineering colleges go for NBA but not for the NAC. Then our management told that, okay, why we are not taking the NAC accreditation? Let it be another experience. So we got the NAC accreditation A that time, and with that we are eligible for autonomy. And then immediately, as soon as we got the NAC accreditation, we have immediately taken the decision that we should go for the academic autonomy. And in 2019, we started with the autonomy in engineering college. Then we started in pharmacy also, and even we are continuously trying for our diploma also. But because of some technical issue on the government side, we are not getting. But now AICTE has made it very clear in this year APH that Polytechnic also can go for, and probably we will get in the next year. As far as diversity is concerned, earlier we used to get many students from the north, Rajasthan, Gujarat. I have many of my alumni in so many states. Now also our focus is that at least we should try to get the students across the Maharashtra. So almost from each and every district of Maharashtra, at least somewhere we can find at least few students. As far as top diversity is concerned, sir, you take the state, almost from each and every state we are having the faculty member. Because our management is of vision that we should have the diverse culture as far as the faculty and the students are also concerned. Then only we can perform well. And with that intention, we are having staff member from Tamil Nadu, Karnataka to you take Delhi, Dehradun, Mussoorie, Jammu, Kashmir, everywhere. We are having faculty from almost each and every part of India. As far as our new endeavor is concerned, as already I told you that we have applied for the private university. We feel that because in the NEP 2020, I don't know how much and when it will be implemented, but the day will come that all the colleges has to de-affiliate from the state universities, public universities, and they have to show their own identity, either maybe in terms of the deemed university or the private university or maybe the degree giving institute. If we want to do after 10 years, why we should not start from today? And with that, our objective, our management has taken the decision that we should go for the university. Almost we got the permission, and probably from the next academic year we are starting with this activity. We are conducting so many activities like the policy of government. We have NPTEL as one of the open platform where we are offering some credit courses. We are having Coursera MOU with them. Through Coursera we are offering so many courses as a credit course also. As a part of Maharashtra government decision, we have to implement NEP 2020. For autonomous college, they have started from last year. So as per the directives of government of Maharashtra, we have made our curriculum, and where we are providing the facility for multidisciplinary, minor, and all other ingredients of that curriculum. Even though the college is located in the rural area, but our management is always in the process that we should give the quality education. We have to bring it to the footsteps of the students. So even we are having 2 German language teachers full time on our roll. We are having 2 Japanese teachers, and through that we are offering that let them have the additional language experience. And through the curriculum also we are giving some induction, but apart from that we are preparing the students for the certification courses. We have hired one full-time data engineer staff member who is taking only that type of the courses, where as per the need of the industry we have to prepare our students. So we are doing so many things from our side, but at the same time also we are having some MBA also as a part of engineering. Last year we have started 2 more institutions in the management. One is the Sanjeevani Institute of Management Science, is another MBA institute, and one PGDM. So these are all the whatever the institutions we are having. We are having international school very near to Shirdi, because what we have felt that what is the input we are getting for engineering, lot of communication related issues are there. So to group the student with the quality education, and with that objective we have started. Of course, there is no end for the progress. We are always putting the next goals, and bit-wise we are trying to move in that direction. And definitely the guidance of the great personalities like you will help us in rethinking or whatever may be the direction we are putting, whether it is correct or wrong. You are a proper person to guide us, sir. So with this, I will conclude my speech, and I again welcome on behalf of Sanjeevani and the management of the Converging. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for addressing us with what Sanjeevani Group of Institute is and what culture we follow in here. Today, we welcome a distinguished leader whose guidance has inspired countless achievements in their field. We are deeply honored and delighted to have our chief guest, Dr. Sandeep Sancheti, sir, with us today. Professor Dr. Sancheti is truly an institution builder, a visionary leader in the field of education. With a PhD from University of Belfast, United Kingdom, and MSc Engineering from Delhi Technical University, DTU, and a BTech from Unity Warangal, his academic credentials are outstanding. Currently, serving as a Vice President at Research Relations and Academic Ambassador of Elsewhere India, Dr. Sancheti's contribution to academia extend far and wide. He has served in various capacities in professional bodies such as FICCI, CII, EPSI, NAC, DST, CSIR, DRDO, AIM, ACU, and many more. His involvement in national level committees for education-related matters, as well as his leadership roles in prestigious institutions like NIT Surathkal, NIT Trichy, Manipal University Jaipur, exemplifies his commitment to educational excellence. Dr. Sancheti's achievements, including being a recipient of Commonwealth Scholarship and Fellowship under the Colombo Plan, and his past roles as the President of Association of Indian Universities, that is AIU, and Executive Council member of Association of Commonwealth University, ACU in London, underscores his global impact on education. Without further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Sandeep Sancheti sir to share his wisdom and insights with all of us.
Thank you for very kind introduction. Shri Amit Kodeji, in absentia, I'm told he will be joining us today because of some emergency, is not here. Guest of honor, Professor Gangi Sethi, Director Professor Thakur, Dean Professor William, other distinguished guests on the dais, and very importantly, all of you, those who are sitting in front, those who are participating as delegates, and those who are faculty members and students. Heartiest congratulations for participating in the conference, which is something very important for all of us as we move ahead in life, as we move ahead in academics. We get to learn, make new friends, acquaintances, share, collaborate, whatever. All these things happen when we meet and greet. So conferences are those opportunities through which we attain all that. And I'm happy that it is happening at your institution regularly. They talked about some previous events which you did in maybe December, IEEE and all that, and the new events which you are envisaging. These are all good signs in terms of progress. I'll talk about all these things a little later also, but first a small protocol thing that I'm very happy that I've been invited here, and I've been a time academic running my 41st year in this profession, you can say, from 1984, January 1984 onwards. And I have added 11 institutions of the country, 8 central government and 3 private ones. And very recently I have changed my role. I left pure academic world and I have joined Elsevier India as you can see, research relations and academic ambassador and all that. This is just to promote the research and good quality academics in all institutions across the country. My mandate is not to serve any institution, not necessarily to be part of any institution, but to engage with anyone where we can improve the quality or maybe some newness we can bring in terms of what we are doing. It's like a fellow of the organization where I scout for talents, ideas, make policies, try to help them implement them. I don't do any routine things these days as far as this assignment is concerned. And therefore, if you have some bright ideas, if you have some good things in your mind, feel free to share, we can discuss it and we can take it further. Whether it goes to Maharashtra level or district level or national level or international level, doesn't matter. It all depends upon how good your thought processes are, and accordingly we can push it further. I would also say that the time given to me right now, as per the schedule given here, is 30-35 minutes. No, I don't want. Yes, I'll take my own time, but it should be much lesser. And these are not the forums where you start lecturing on everything or anything. You should retain the focus on what you are trying to do, and therefore I'll be taking my time, but it should be around 20 minutes, is what I would say. And that's these are protocol things. These are not serious business, but it's still a protocol thing that we inaugurate and we talk about that and so on and so forth. So I'll not consume my full time, be ready for that, and I should not. And no chief guest should be given so much of time in future also, especially if it is related to conferences. Anyway, I must congratulate the Sanjeevani College of Engineering and Technology and also the group of institutions for continuing to grow and for a long time. You have also completed, like you are saying, 83 is when you started, so you are just 1 year senior to me in profession. I started in 84. So congratulate you for your 42nd year of journey, and you know that 1942 a love story, so that love story of academics and our performance should continue. That was a famous movie, if some of you know. Manisha Koirala's movie was there, Hindi movie. How many of you watch Hindi movies? Fine, so you must be knowing. Songs were also very famous. But anyway, we should rejoice and celebrate all these occasions by connecting with something good. All right, and that's why I'm naming them. And I'm happy that that it's not only that you existed for years, you have made sure that you exist for a value. So as a result, you have done the NBA accreditation many a times, you have done the NAC accreditation also previously, and you are seriously thinking of yourself in terms of growth, so you attained autonomy, and now you are on the anvil of making it a university to bring more freedom. I think the first thing Professor Thakur started discussing with me in this morning was about his autonomy and his functioning and the challenges you have when you are an affiliated institution. I can very well understand, because I have worked in almost all types of institutions, and not only worked, I have led all types of institutions also, so I understand those limitations. And we need to break free from that. And we need to be on our own. Academic world, if it has to be creative, should be having a lot of self-control. The autonomy called academic autonomy is one which is a fundamental, but then managerial, the administrative, the financial, and maybe various other things can be defined in terms of those autonomies, and you should have that. And I'm happy that you are striving for that. And one effort in striving for that is, you're talking about research today. So I must compliment Professor William, who persuaded me to come here. I do not know how he found. I actually tried to dissuade him that not to call me. I told him that, look, your conference is supported by someone and I work for someone else. Is it fine? I should not be coming here, and so on and so forth, but doesn't matter. It's there in my blood that I help the institutions wherever I can with my presence or contributions. And I've come here, but Dr. William was one reason why we came here, and that is with a focus on research. So he was talking to me about research, what we are trying to do, how we are trying to do. And it's a good thing that the country is also thinking seriously about research. Till recently, there was not much focus on research. Research was being done, but not much focus. But today, you can say under NEP framework, research is being given importance. And research has a special functional body now called National Research Foundation. It's a different matter that the foundation has not seen functional light of the day. It's not yet fully operational, but the act, etc. has come, and some 500 crores were given to that particular foundation some time back. So hopefully, after elections, the NRF will become functional. That is what we hope, and that will fund a lot of good quality research through their efforts, irrespective of where you belong to, rural or urban, irrespective of your label which you have, government or private. They should do it on the proposition of the value which you are giving to them in the project and the implementation. So I'm sure this will happen. But here I must tell you, there's one thing important. I do not know how many of you have done PhD. I don't want you to raise hands also, don't worry. But if not, I think you should think of that, because research foundation would be laid in your institution if many of you are PhDs, because PhD is in a way to groom you to do further research. PhD is the starting point of the research, not the end point of the research, which many institutions and individuals think. Research, in my opinion, in a very crude sense, if I can call it, in the academic world, it is a license to kill, in the sense that अगर आपके पास रिसर्च की डिग्री है, पीएचडी की डिग्री है, then you have a lot of freedom to grow and do many things, new experiments, get money, get funding, whatever. In that sense, it makes you powerful, is what I'm trying to say. And therefore, you should do research, and once you finish PhD, that will be the starting point of your research. Why I am making this statement is, all of us are teachers. I was also a teacher 40 years back, and my role was very different. My role was go to classroom, do something on blackboard, cover the syllabus. Whatever is written in the syllabus, a detailed syllabus, probably most of the teachers will start from day one. This is the first line of the syllabus, second line, third line, whatever detailed syllabus you start covering. Today it is not. Today it is not cover the syllabus, but it is uncover the syllabus. Uncover in the sense that why you are teaching that subject. How is it going to be related to your field or your life? Where is it going to be applied? When this will be the most suitable thing to do? How is it connected with your past? How is it connected with your future? If you can do all that, you are uncovering the potential of the course. And that is what you really need to do. Deriving one theorem, making one diagram here, explaining something is fine. Most of the people can understand because they work hard and they are intelligent people. Only thing is you need to give them that power of discretion that why they are reading and where it will be applied and all that. So uncover is becoming important than cover the course. So many changes have happened in the world of education that earlier everything was physical, but with Corona and all that, it's becoming physical or whatever way you want to call it as a blended kind of a thing, not necessarily physical. Similarly, all the examinations used to be very secretive, and you will probably have a COE sitting here doing something and putting all stamp, chapri, everything on certain things. Those were the trends. But examination is becoming open book examination system now, not the closed book examination system. And the laboratories were real physical, but the laboratories are becoming virtual. IIIT Hyderabad is one driver for the virtual laboratories which are there. Virtual laboratories give you the power of doing experiment alone, anytime. All your labs which are otherwise used for 6 hours can be used for 24/7, and they are fail-proof. If I'm doing it electronically, all checks and balances can be there. I cannot damage the equipment. I can dump the data. I can perform the experiment rightly. But otherwise, I cannot. I can damage it and so on and so forth. So the world is changing. In the same sense, I want to impinge on your mind, to force it in your mind that all of us have been doing what? Teaching and learning, to say so. We are teachers, so we are doing teaching and learning. Teaching and learning basically means accumulating information from books and sources and delivering information to the students. We ourselves learn, get it from the books and resources and deliver it. Is that fine? You can call it assimilating information and disseminating information. These were the two roles. Assimilating information, इकट्ठा करना, और disseminating information, जानकारी देना या distribute करना. But there is an important role in this work. जो जानकारी की हम बात कर रहे हैं, I hope you are all comfortable in Hindi also. I may just make a point or two in Hindi just to impress upon you. I come from the Hindi heartland, so obviously I love that. So, when we are talking about the information, we can accumulate and we can disseminate. But then who is going to generate? Someone has to generate, and that is the knowledge, that is the newness which is there. And therefore, that new thing called assimilation, dissemination and generation has to be connected. New knowledge has to be developed, then only you can be leaders. Otherwise, you will be borrowing what comes from USA or Japan or wherever and keep recycling it after 5-10 years of delay, and then you will make your students read all that. They'll not be leaders, they'll not be very highly employable. So this component of what you call generation of new information has to come into your work cycle of teachers, and teaching learning should also have generation of information, and this generation of new information is nothing but research. Alright, I hope you are clear. Generation of anything new is nothing but called as research. You can call it development also, you can call it innovation also. Sometimes research has a loose definition. Research and consultancy cells are there, so those are there. Research and innovation are something like that. Entrepreneurship is also connected. Incubation also is led to research. Various things are there. But research is a very generic term, like teaching is a generic term. You can teach in many ways, research can also. Make sure that in your life, each one of you has your own resolve that you will do research. It may lead to PhD, it may not lead to PhD, is your choice, or institution's choice, your department's choice. But you should generate new knowledge. Without that, you will not be sought after. Without that, you will only be an academic slave, if I may say so, that you are not doing anything great. All right? And therefore, research is important. So I compliment the Sanjeevani group for driving research in a big way. And my suggestion is also look at that, how are we driving? Are we giving seed grants? Are we creating special facilities called centers for research? Don't call them center for excellence. The moment in India we have a history that everything which we try to do in research, we suddenly immediately create center of excellence. You have not done anything till now, how can it be an excellent thing? Can you be an excellent without doing much? So it should be center of research, center of development, center of whatever you call materials, whatever you want to call. Once it attains a certain level, that it has funding of, let's say, 50 lakhs, it has published 50 papers, it has done some XYZ, you can call it center of excellence. You can do a benchmark that, okay, you become a center of excellence like that. So create those facilities and make sure that your budget, I'm pretty sure, I audit a lot of institutions regularly, I find there's hardly any budget which is earmarked in their balance sheets for the research thing. And therefore make sure that you have at least 3% of your annual budget going towards research. This is my prescription. More the merrier is what I would say. Most of the top institutions in the world probably can go up to 15% of their annual budget going towards research. But you start, make a humble beginning with this. And any new faculty coming in, either force them or lure them or propose to them that what research would you do? Can we give you some money to seed your research so that he gets into that cycle of doing research? So I think those are some of the things which are required. Collaboration is important. I think there was a mention by Professor William on the collaboration side, which is important. No one can do full activity. Even today, Harvard, Oxford, everyone looks for the partnerships, whichever are there. So why shouldn't we be doing that? Please look at the right partners. And for that, like my current role says that my role in research domain in Elsevier is also talking about a lot of research related things. Research is not just publishing something or at the best knowing in which journal and which impact factor. Research to be impactful. The government of India requires all the research to be more meaningful. All right, and therefore research impact, research integrity, research intelligence, all those things are becoming very, very important in our life today, so that we are not wasting our money and time. And that's where my organization does a lot of tools, a lot of systems, a lot of the research studies. Yesterday when I was traveling, I was reading a report which is done by a very top Dutch university called Eindhoven. Some of you might have heard, TUE Eindhoven they call it. And they have decided that we are a very good university. They probably are in world's top 100, 200, I don't know. But they decided that we want to impact the entire area surrounding 100 kilometers of our university. We want to transform them with industries, transform them with ideas, innovation, startups, patents, their training, whatever manpower requirement, everything will be taken care of. Various things they have said. And they have generated a report with our help to showcase that what impact they have made in that region, and therefore they can attract more funding, more support, more participation and all that, more collaboration and all that. That is what you need to do. Nasik may be a small place, Shivdi may be still a smaller place compared to Nasik. You are a neighborhood, and you may think Bombay is much bigger or something else is much bigger. No, you decide right policies and you can become much bigger is what I would like to say when it comes to research, development, innovation. But this is something where you should expose all your students for research. They should know how to research. Whether they have to later, after doing 10 years of job, they have to buy a house or invest in money in something or search for a new job, they should be able to carry out the research properly so that they take a right decision. That is the approach of research. Research means learning from many angles, many things about a given subject. All right, and then trying to get something new as an answer or satisfying answer is what you possibly say. Innovation is more suitable to research today. Innovation is more towards a little commercial angle side of it. Pure research is more towards invention side of it. We need not worry too much about invention. I think it should be more about incremental changes in the research. Research is a continuous journey and you should look for the incremental changes. I think converging technologies are also like that. You borrow from somewhere, translate it into something, connect it with something, do something somewhere, something like that is a converging technology where things merge. You borrow good ideas from here and there and then you try to figure out certain things. So that is how you should try to drive your research in my opinion, and that's how you can possibly grow. When it comes to what you call your areas in terms of what you are doing as a research or as a theme of the conference, I'd like to simply say that in my opinion, some time back, not necessarily today, there were four core technology terminology you can say which were being used. One of them was materials technology, another one possibly was the biotechnology, the third one was the computer technologies or IT, whatever, CT or IT, and the fourth one was the nanotechnology. These were the core things which were driving the world in terms of changes. Okay, in computer now AI can also be included, but most of the things were happening because of the four technologies. And by the way, these four technologies were always not technology. Material science and material technology were commonly. Computer science and computer engineering or technology is still the same, and we tend to use computer science. Same with the bioscience and biotechnology. So that differentiation should also go away. That I am science, you are engineering, is technology, is commerce. No, commerce guy can also have the technological angle in certain things, and therefore these were the pillars. But today you can possibly say that various other things which have come into this, maybe manufacturing you can say has become very precision, so maybe part of nanotechnology. Robotics may be part of electronics and materials and manufacturing, everything put together. So there are many new angles which are coming to this. AI, big data, ML, everything is anyway part of that. And therefore, these boundaries are merging. And if you see the convergence, the best example is this only, convergence. I'm an electronics engineer, I'm an RF guy, radio frequency. Mobile means tower. Tower nahi aaya, signal nahi aaya, everyone thought ये तो communication का device है, but I must tell you my confession, and this is not a recent one. 10 years back, possibly I started saying that this is not an electronic device to say so, to claim so. It may use electronics, so many things uses electronics, including these things also. The amplifier is right there. Can I say this is an electronic device? No. There is only one chip which controls everything in this 140 pin or 60 pin chip which is there. The rest of the things are decided by mechanical engineers, the chemical engineers, the display people, the application people, the computer people, the various softwares and tools which are there. It is a high level integration of everything. And when it comes to functionality, I need not tell you. Whether it is a music system or light system or projection system or safety device or biomedical sensing and various other things, whatever. So it's nothing to do necessarily with all the pure communication or electronics. And that is the level of things which you possibly tend to get when you do this, what you call the integration or convergence of this. And this is an age of convergence. This is an age where everything will have to be integrated. So please try to do as many projects with multiple departments joining. Please try to do many things which have a direct application, maybe rural or maybe defense or maybe industrial or whatever those may be which are there. And therefore all these boundaries should vanish and those should be promoted, that how they can use one from another and so forth. And I would also like to say that long time back, if you see, most of the new technologies emerged purely because of defense requirements. चाहे वो न्यूक्लियर का हुआ था, चाहे वो रेडार्स वगैरह हुए थे, चाहे वो एयरक्राफ्ट्स हुए थे, चाहे वो वारफेयर के लिए बॉम्ब्स हुए थे. People wanted to dominate, rule over others, and therefore that defense or fights, you can say. Slowly it became other things, but medical became very prominent. Medical became very prominent. Even your internet is because of the defense requirement. You probably know that those are from the computer background probably know that why internet came into being, or the World Wide Web, as you probably would know, it's because offshoot of something like that. Same thing is now happening with the space wars. Yesterday there was an article that what other countries are trying to do. So it's all because of that positioning. But now most of the things are happening because of the medical reasons, biological or biotechnological reasons, that we want to make the human race take the most benefit out of that in terms of their longevity, in terms of their life, in terms of their comfort, in terms of putting artificial limbs wherever are required, in terms of doing so many other things. And therefore, way back, some 32 years back, I have used the dental things doing my RF circuits. Electronic circuits, I use dental things, dental technologies which are there to make my own circuits. That is the kind of integration which you really require to learn from each other and from applying or whatever these things which are there. So all in all, you'll find that when electronics become wearable, you can wear a computer, you can wear something, there can be keyboard somewhere, there can be projection system somewhere, there can be sixth sense which can read your mind. I'm looking at the shelf, and let's say something is inside the shelf, then the system would know what Sandeep Sancheti is looking at and why he is looking at what time he is looking at. Is he trying to buy it or is he trying to do something else with that? And accordingly it will give me feedback and all that. So that will be my sixth sense. So all those things basically is nothing but an integration of multiple things. And these multiple things are once again being promoted by NEP in the name of what you call multidisciplinarity, which you are. But I'm pretty sure, like most of the institutions, most of us sit in silos. ये मेरा mechanical department है, ये मेरा electrical है. I had a tough time when I was director of NIT Suratkal. 2007, early 2007, I was doing selections. These were my first selections as a director, and I found computer was an emerging field, obviously, and senior positions were not easily there because computer engineering was a fairly recent one. So there are a lot of guys who will do BTech in electrical, masters in electronics, and then maybe a PhD in computer science. And even now you will find it in all IITs, top people will be like that. But when these applications went to the department, the HODs thought, no sir, his BTech is not in computer science. No sir, his MTech is not in computer science. No sir, his PhD in maths, and maths is not necessarily related to computer science. I got quite a few rejections, and when I went through the applications, I found the applications were good. They were from good institutions. Suratkal obviously will attract so many good things. I was not comfortable. When I did the next round, I made it a rule that when you reject, write the reasons. And when you reject, also write where will he fit. If I am rejecting from electronics and I am saying that he is not fit for electronics because of this reason, I should write where will he fit. After all, he is a wonderful person with good qualifications. So in your opinion, you write where will he fit. Obviously, they were forced to write. They could not disobey the director. So they will write such things, and finally I'll call all three of them together. Come. You sit down with me, these are the applications, these are your own comments. Now you collectively decide where should I consider this gentleman, in which department he should be eligible. You collectively decide, and if you are not able to decide, I will decide, and that will be an imposition. You will cut your freedom if you don't decide, I will decide. As a result, I started pushing multidisciplinary. As a result, we started courses and projects which were of that particular nature, and we did a lot of good such good things. The Suratkal, by the way, when you go, there was a center which was started. That center was started by me. This is at that time we called it Students Online Laboratory for Virtual Education. So this has now become a new name, CSAB or something like Center for System and something like Advanced Systems and all that. There is already an investment of 40-45 crores in that. It's the biggest laboratory. It's the laboratory which runs 24/7, and it's doing most wonderful job in terms of innovation. So, and that's all interdisciplinary. So what I'm trying to tell you is, this is the way to go, which is why you are doing a conference and which is why you must have contributed the papers. Don't worry about the word that what is multidisciplinarity. Even today I cannot explain it fully. But if I cannot explain it fully, I can confuse you with more terms. If multidisciplinary is not understood, what is interdisciplinarity? If that is not understood, what is transdisciplinarity? If that is not understood, what is interdisciplinarity? And you can go on. But basically, for me as a layman, and for you as a layman, I'll give you an answer. It means that go beyond the boundaries of your subject. Try to learn from them and try to make them learn is what this should be. And I think that will be the endeavor of the conference. So I wish the conference a huge success. All of you, congratulations for your contributions. Make new friends, learn new things, and continue this association. Don't break or snap the new relationships which you have developed. I think that is my message to all of you. Once again, my best wishes to Sanjeevani Group of Institutions, to all of you, Thakur Sir and William ji and everyone, for doing the wonderful job. And we wish to see you with more successes and more good positioning, not only in the country but internationally also. Thank you and all the best.
Sir, your words hold immense depth and meaning for all of us. We're eager to learn from your visionary thoughts and expertise. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. Our guest of honor's remarkable achievements serves as a beacon of inspiration for all of us. We are deeply honored and delighted to have our guest of honor, Dr. Shankar Gangishetty sir, with us today. Dr. Gangishetty is a distinguished project scientist at CVIT iHub Data IIIT Hyderabad, India, where he is deeply engaged in pioneering research in the field of mobility of technology, development and road safety in Indian driving conditions. Previously, Dr. Gangishetty served as a professor at the School of Computer Science Engineering, KLE Technological University, Hubli, India. His academic journey includes earning a PhD from the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at VVV College of Engineering and Technology under Visvesvaraya Technological University. A master's degree in Computer Science and Engineering from NIT Surathkal. With over 35 research papers published in the areas ranging from computer vision to data science, natural language processing, Dr. Gangishetty's contribution to academia are extensive and impactful. His pioneering work on 3D data representation and geometric processing, particularly in the context of UNESCO World Heritage Site, Hampi Temples in Karnataka, exemplifies his dedication and advancing technologies for cultural preservation. Sir's leadership extends to being a co-PI, that is co-principal investigator, for various DST-sponsored funded projects, including crowdfunding for cultural heritage sites and driving simulated development for Indian road conditions. He has also been recognized for his excellence in teaching and research, receiving Piazza Bursary Award for Effective Online Teaching and Best Doctoral Synopsis Award at ICVGIP Conference 2016, IIT Guwahati. Now, without further delay, I would like to invite Dr. Shankar Gangishetty sir to share his insights and thoughts with all of us.
Not sure whether videos will be or not. Then you are going to operate, okay? I cannot operate. Right? Giving your marks. This player will see whether it works. No, that is this. Yes.
Okay.
I think I'll use. Yeah, good morning, all. So probably there was one delay. I think it's almost nearing afternoon. So good afternoon. In constraint to the time, probably I'll try to make it a little short as well. And probably we had very great speakers as well as very great visionaries. I think Dr. Sandeep was my, you can say, director during the time I was doing my masters at NIT Surat. So glad to meet him. Probably after when I finished my masters, I'm meeting him now. So it's good time. At least I'm meeting somewhere. Anyway, yeah. So again, I would like to thank Dr. Williams to probably how Dr. Sandeep mentioned, same way, how did he find me as well and pick up me as a kind of a person who would come and give a talk. Earlier I was more focusing him or forcing him that I would give a keynote address rather than being a guest of honor. But probably he mixed it up and now I'm trying to make it as a mixed form where it's just not like keynote but then guest of honor put together. It will be kind of a condensed form of a presentation that I am trying to make. Okay, I am very rare that I go for conferences as guest of honor talks. More I go for some technical talks. So I hope people who are there from CS background or mechanical background or civil background or electronics background or electrical background will find the subject of mobility to be kind of a multidisciplinary thing, as Dr. Sandeep was mentioning. Though, as he was mentioning, it is not that we need to connect those people, but rather our mindset should be in a way that we should think beyond what the discipline where we are in. Apparently, I am also kind of a person who is in a background of, let's say, from my BTech to my PhD in computer science. But then you can see now what I am doing. I am doing kind of a thing which is mobility, and I do work on the hardware part. I do work on the some kind of a probably electronics things that are related to my mobility devices to work, to the mechanical things if it is needed, to more importantly the software aspect. Okay. On the other side, you can see that I am now associated with more the IIIT Hyderabad and more not as a faculty. Okay, I am not a faculty there, but then I am a kind of an applied research scientist or more prominently called as a project scientist. As Dr. Sandeep had mentioned, he had been there in academics for so many years and then he changed the kind of an academic position towards, probably now he is in elsewhere and more dominantly in the academic amendments kind of a thing. It's been something like that also what I have changed. I had been serving in teaching or academic profession since 20 years. Okay, my career had been 20 years of academic teaching, but then I wanted to change myself and I had always a passion. That the passion started also of my research is when I just was about to finish PhD. That is what Dr. Sandeep also was mentioning, that PhD is the time where you understand that the research starts. And my journey of research also started when I was doing my PhD to when I finished almost my PhD. I decided that in next 2 years or 3 years, I should be moving away from academics. Of course, there are plenty of other reasons. It's not that I wanted to not do academics. We all understand that there are small plus or minus kind of things. I love teaching. I teach a lot even now. But I love even research. So I combine teaching and research a lot. My teaching grows with my research. So the more I research, the more I teach. And all my teachings earlier also had been more from the perspective of not textbook. Everything is first learn, do them, come back and teach the student. So my course material specifically in terms of probably I started teaching a lot ETBS kind of database management systems. Few of you would be hearing are being used even now, even after almost like 10 years. Those slides and other things are yet being used by other people to teach in the earlier university where I was teaching. And people have used those materials to even prepare their GATE exams. And they have really found that that was a good resource. So there are certain courses that I have designed, have promoted and have presented in my earlier place also. And that led me into probably kind of a Piazza kind of a awardship. This Piazza awardship is an online awardship which comes from US. This is in kind of how you use the LMS, that is learning management system platforms, very effectively in ensuring that you engage students to participate in it, learn via discussions. What does that mean? I used to always answer to every question a student asks any time of the day. It could be 24/7. Even usually we see that students are very active during nights. They raise their questions. I start answering to those questions what they ask in the night or as well. Which means it is not verbal, it is all via LMS kind of channels. Piazza is a very well established platform used by many Western universities, and it is a very simple platform where you start exchange of question and answers. You put a question, student solves, you just check that whether the answer is right or no, and then reply back, where other students also see how the other students have solved and learn in this course of time. So it is harder for anyone to teach in a kind of a medium like this, but that kind of a platform keeps even people who are non-learners to actually observe and learn how others actually solve the problems. So this is the culture what I was following, and probably this is how it led for me into more and more researching, and I ended up in probably entering into more research dynamics and less being in the teaching profession. And I've joined probably last 2 years. I've been working on mobility as a means, and Dr. William had actually mentioned that it need to be little touching towards kind of how to write research proposals. So in today's discussion, whatever I will be presenting over here, ensure that this thought is my own thoughts of how we write research proposals. It might differ from person to person. So why am I presenting this? The reason is very simple. All the proposals that I have written with this thought process got in through and they got accepted. Okay, so all my journey started with only on fundings, which means I started my PhD career on a funding project, which was digital recreation of Hampi temples. You might have heard the UNESCO World Heritage Temple Hampi. We recreated that. That means I was working more on 3D reconstruction of those things. We recreated them, and it ran on science fair train that runs. If you know that, it runs where it showcases the kind of heritage that India has. In that, we had created the 3D reconstruction of that, and we had virtually put it for display. That was one of my work, which was PhD work that I started, and it went up onto that stage. Considering this aspect, by the time I was about to finish my PhD, I had written 3 proposals, yet not submitted. The moment I got degree, I submitted 3 proposals with my own guide, and all 3 were accepted. It was around nearly 1.5 crore fundings, and all the projects were made. These projects are more again related to what I was doing, and it related to underwater 3D reconstructions. We have Varka, one of them, which is underwater. We also have in Tamil Nadu, which is digital Kumpuhara, what we call. Kumpuhara is one more. So we went for Kumpuhara, where most of the other IIT Delhi University went for Varka. So we were working on that, and apparently in 2023, almost I finished and I moved out from my earlier place of that work. And now currently I am working on one more funded project from 2023 where I have started, is on driving simulation platforms in autonomous driving. That is one thing which I have started, and it is in the works, and probably I'll try to also talk about that. And I have been asking even Dr. William to apply for call for proposals and all, where we are trying to fund people who are interested in doing projects in this direction as well. So today's discussion would be more towards safe driving in unstructured environments. Since the talk need to cover both what I like, which is mobility, where I call AI research, to what you want to also hear, which is how to write proposals, and maybe students who are more interested, as well as teachers who are interested in getting opportunities to look for in terms of call for proposals, to students to look for fellowships. The third one is opportunities. While I am trying to connect these things, saying that driving is an entity that we need to consider. So I divide this kind of a presentation into 3 segments, where I am going to talk about. We talk about the research, that is the mobility work that I am doing, and I also want to tell you that why you should know this. then you will land up in writing your own proposal. Okay, so I'll try to connect the research that we are doing to how to write a proposal from this direction. So that is where I call it as research proposal grants to write. Then how you can explore the possibilities of what are the ways you can nurture mobility as one means. Of course, I'm not giving very general thing, I'm taking specific topic. Of course, we can talk generally many things, but I'm trying to keep it to the area that I'm trying to work for. So the first track will start. We all understand that we are in a world of either structured or unstructured environment. What do you say? Unstructured. Why do we say unstructured world we are in? Why not structured? What stops us to be structured? So I've given the parameters at least for driving. It could be for many other cases also domains. So you all drive, you all know, you all commute, you all know how unstructured it is, in what manner it does matter. So you know that the density that is there on the roads is huge. So you cannot tell a driver how you should drive, or you cannot tell anyone as a pedestrian also how you should walk. We live in that society. We need to accept that. So I'm not going to talk about we have to change it. I say that we live with it. How do we go with it? That is one aspect. The second aspect could be the education that we have to give for these people who are driving, or the engineering aspect of how they have to build things across it. That is the road surfaces and all what we talk. This is from probably civil and other aspects, if you see. Where we don't want to even change that. It is what it is. Infrastructure is there. We will be with it. So what is the point that I want to talk about here? Let us be in the same society with incremental changes that are happening by every domain expert, but still we strive to ensure that we make the best out of it. In this direction, what I am going to talk is how AI can play a role. Or rather, you can call, this is the thought process of even our Prime Minister, which is AI, we don't call it as artificial intelligence, but then what is the advantage India has? So I call AI as advantage India. Okay? Why advantages? You can see that the kind of society where we are in, what do we have here? It is all like crowded city, crowded people, kind of different objects, diversity. What is advantage over here? The advantage is, if you are a researcher, you have problems to solve. People talk about where are problems to solve. Everything, one or the other person is solving. You take your own locality, find the problem that is there. What is the problem? The problem is what algorithms can work in the West, that is in structured environment, they all will fail in the Indian environment. If so, are there open problems? Yes. But then how do I even test on Indian platform or Indian society? Well, the first step might be you need to collect the data. Do I have the data? No. Then this is where we say in the research that start from capturing the data. How do I capture them? Build the setup what you need. How do I build? Now you associate your multidisciplinary people. How do I create the rig? How do I mount the cameras, electronic people? How do I capture the data? Set the focal view of those things. Mount it onto the car. Make the car run on the roads. Your own roads, locally. You now collect the data. You have a computer science student who will collect the data. You are finding mechanical over here, you are finding electronic person, and you are even finding a computer science person together working to solve probably one kind of a problem. What are the problems? The problems could be very simple. Object detection. I'm talking from computer science point of perspective. Our eyes sees many objects on the road, and accordingly we take a decision how do we pass through in the roads. Same thing, a camera sees the same perspective, the objects what are coming on the road. Can I make my model or AI system to learn this and see that how does it penetrate? It's a very simple or easy thing for our head to say because our neurons function that way. But then it's a very hard thing when you start building algorithms, and this creates into so many new problems that you can solve. This is how at IIIT we started the mobility venture, and we disproved all the existing works what are there that have been very popular in the Western culture do not really work on the Indian society. That's why we call it as unstructured environments where there are challenges that we can solve. Why do we need to solve this? Maybe the simple question could be there. I am fine with what India is and I will go as it is. I will probably drive vehicle I am driving. As Dr. Sandeep was mentioning, electronic device like mobile has many things to do for you today from what it was doing earlier. You can also see that what you are finding the Indian roads are today might be much different after some more years. What is that? You might find like maybe Tesla is going to get kind of an MOU signed with, let's say, India, and slowly if there are robo-taxis coming into India, maybe not so soon, maybe 5 years, 10 years down the line, who knows? Then you are driving, on the other side robo-taxi is driving. How does it go? How do each of you talk with each other? Which means there are problems that are going to arise now. More and more complications will come on the roads. But then are we ready to solve? We need to, because the world is moving to say that future would be selfless driving. Okay? You are not going to drive, it is going to drive by itself. That means we are still in the human driving point of view, what you can see over here. Very soon we want self-driving cars where they are driving by themselves. This is where we are going to venture very soon, if not too early. So in that case, how safe is India for such cases? We might consider, because there are many road accidents that happen on India. You might be considering that it's almost like we say 1 death every 4 minutes happens in India according to statistics, which is huge. Are we reducing it? It's very hard, we are not. So Nitin Gadkari had come out with this concept that India has to reduce probably 50% of the deaths by 2025. So that means we have to ensure that we are reducing the accidents by that much. Okay, so in that direction we started working from past 2-3 years. Okay, and we are progressing to solve that. How are we going to bring this rate down? The world news on the front line says that even today that road crashes death downs by 5% globally. Globally it is reducing, if you see the accidents, but India is never finding its number to come down. So there are challenges. So we need to solve that. So in this direction, what are the different challenges that we have in order to ensure that these deaths or the fatalities that are happening on the road can be reduced? Okay? So these are the various problems that everyone should think about. Maybe first one is density, diversity, unstructured roads that we have. 2, some other things like, let's say this is for entrepreneurs or probably even MBA kind of people, where how do they think about traffic signs, what need to be there, how should traffic signs be present. Simple example I'll give you. Tell me, whenever you are driving, you know when to take a left turn. But do you see a traffic sign there? Most of the places you don't. You also don't see traffic lights in such places, but you know that you have to take a left turn or a right turn, or how should you go. But in India we don't have this systematic thing. In fact, even the roads don't have lanes. Okay? But then we are still driving. So that means these are all problems which need to be also solved in some or the other way. So it could be even educating the drivers to ensure that learning license is more stricter in India. Which means, how can we make it strict? Now if you see MORTH, okay, which is like Ministry of Road Transport, okay, has on highways, has come out with the norms that states can adopt a simulation mechanism to check whether the driver is suitable to be given a license. That means to start with first. It has not made mandatory, but in the West it is mandatory for everyone, and rigorously they have to pass through. If they fail, I think it is for certain years they don't even give license. If they are failing the license test. In India it is not. People get easily license, you know, without even trying. Okay? So education system, how will it be strict now? If you automate all these things, nobody can change it. And how do I automate? How do we even test a driver is safe enough to drive on roads where there are critical situations? We know that everybody can drive very smoothly on a safe driving, even if you want to check for a learning license. So in this direction, we at IIIT Hyderabad are trying to work out on simulation platforms, especially my team, is can we develop critical situations in this simulation and make the driver to focus and drive. If he is failing, we know that there is a kind of a problem and what we should do. So this will help in a way to drive India, even with young people who are coming and trying to get the learning license, to have a safe driving, learn the regulation rules and then proceed. We might not change people who are already or probably who are aged and who have done and who have experience, but it could be also the young minds where we have to change their culture. Young minds need not follow what the probably seniors were doing. Seniors now have experience of so many years and they know how to handle the situation. But then young minds cannot mimic them easily. Okay? So these are all important things that need to play a role. In this direction, I think at IIIT Hyderabad, we had started this mission somewhere in 2017-18 with creating Indian driving data set. Now, data set is a very important thing for a person who is in AI, who is working in research specifically. Why? If you are working in computer vision or if you are working in any project, your professor will ask you which data set did you use in solving this problem. Okay, that is an apparently kind of a question, and you will say, I took something from Kaggle. Well, that does not work today. What is important is how complex is the data, how niche is the data, how will this data even prove the algorithm can be disrupted? Why? The algorithm should work for the best of the best data. Okay, that means every form of data. When a human can learn to drive, let's say in Mumbai, and the same person can drive, let's say in Kokargaon, you can understand that there is a different kind of a geography that is changing, but still they can drive. While the algorithm can fail because the kind of surface that you have over here might be very rough over the smooth surface that might be in Mumbai roads with the lanes and all. But then still human can drive while algorithms do fail. Why? Because algorithm never saw such kind of data. That means where the data comes from, and we have to create that data and build algorithms across it. So we created such kind of things from 2017-18 in collaboration with Intel during that time. And we solved a couple of problems from detection, segmentation, road text detection, new object detection. What is new object? New object is nothing but anomalous objects. Like while you are trying to drive, you will find that suddenly a dog crosses. But then you are alert that okay, there is a dog crossing. So these are new objects, what we call are anomalous objects, wherein you still are attentive to take a decision. What if you have collected the data but you never have in your training data this new objects phenomena and your model learns, while in testing you have new object, your algorithm fails. So in all such kind of works we have done and we have published at various places. Now Dr. William was telling that how do we get proposals and all. Note that proposals don't come by publishing in only few conferences. You should always scale your conference level of publication. You might start saying that okay, I am publishing at these kind of conferences now. What is happening here? You have to then start changing your level from, let's say, C ranked to B ranked to A ranked to A star ranked kind of core conferences. Now among this, ECCD is a A star ranked conference. Maybe some of you would have already heard ECCD, WACME, ICRA, NeurIPS and all. These are all A star kind of conferences. So you should focus on this. What's the need? When you publish there, and now if you write a proposal, you will find that acceptance is high because you have kind of publications where you have proven your records. That means you are capable. So proposals cannot come until you don't prove yourself. Okay? Why? There are so many people who write proposals. I think Dr. Sandeep would be knowing that it is immense number of people are now submitting. Simple, I'll tell you, the kind of conference that is ECCD, for example, is a well-known conference globally. If you see the rate of submissions that happened, paper submission, this year, I don't know, even we have submitted for 2024, the rate of submission means the number of submitted papers are nearing to 15k this year. Last year it was 10k. So many papers are submitted. Imagine the number of reviewers needed to review them. That too they need to select for A-star kind of publication. So this chain means the number of papers that are coming, what I am trying to say is, number of papers that are coming to such A-star conferences is increasing, which means the dearth there is so much, the acceptance rate is still 15 to 16% only of the papers that get through. When there only so many papers are getting rejected, and those people might be also writing so many proposals, you can see the difference is, why am I not getting my proposal getting through, research proposal getting through? I am unable to reach there. Why would anybody even like to allow such people to go ahead until you don't prove your record? That means this can only happen when you collaboratively work with many people. It is not individual. It doesn't happen individually. Okay? So these are very important facts to know. We have also organized many challenges, workshops, tutorials during this journey. We created many data sets, from data sets like intent driving data set 2D to intent driving data set 3D. 3D means we also use LiDAR setup to capture the depth information, which will help us to find potholes and other things that are there on the road surfaces. We also created IDD adverse weather. We went to Mandi, Manali to collect even the adverse weather like snow, fog and all other kind of data. How did we go? Where is the equipment coming from? So let us move forward to understand. This is our vehicle we built, which is known as Bodhyan. Okay, Bodhyan is the platform what we have built, which is mounted with LiDAR. It has radars. It also has 360 degrees cameras. That means there are 6 cameras which will capture 360 degrees view. This whole rig structure is mounted. It also has other sensors like GPS and other IMU sensors mounted to it. We use this and we capture the data. Believe me, even if you want to run it on Kopargaon, you can book, you can hire, we will rent, you can capture. In fact, you can come and collect even in Hyderabad. It is there in our own place. So we always rent the car. It has gone to Goa, it has gone to Mandi Manali. It is now going to many parts of Telangana outskirts regions to collect the data. So we have this platform. We also now ventured into a platform of two-wheeler we are creating, because India is very popular for two-wheeler motorcycle ridings and motorbike riding and all. So we want to collect the data there also. Why? Again the same problem. See, India has so many two-wheelers that more than four-wheelers, first we need to solve even two-wheeler problems. Of course, the things might change very soon and maybe there are only cars everywhere. But then India is going to be very slow in that pace. That means even in two-wheelers, we need to venture. Already EV vehicles have started coming. That means there is a control that is possible via software. If so, can we include some sensors to it, like cameras and other? If so, then there is a lot of data we will get where car cannot go. And that data might help the models to learn very well. What is the use of so much data? Today you talk about LLMs, generative AI. How are they even performing? It is the number of data that they are collecting from the Google as such, in order to build their models to train so rigorously that to ChatGPT, when you ask a question, you get a solution. Right? That means so much amount of data has been used to train, which means this data, they don't have what India has. So can be captured, and our plan also is to build such kind of a multi-model LLM or a GPT, which will be specifically for India. IIIT is already working on Bharat GPT, which is for Indian GPT, what we call. We are soon going to start with multi-model kind of a data platform for not just two-wheeler, four-wheeler, two-wheeler also. This is again mounted with, right now it is not appearing over here, but then you can look into the website, you will find that there are LiDAR, there is camera, 360 degrees camera also mounted. We have in-house startup which is built a 360 degrees camera which we have mounted over here to capture the data. So again, this is, you can book and you can use this to collect the data. We have recently ventured into creating a simulator platform. That is what I was talking about. We have like the from CRRI chief research scientist who had come, that is Mohan Rao, who had visited our simulator platform, which is yet in progress. It's almost like 6 months baby what we have been into. He had tested and he found it very interesting. We also had called the eminent professor in autonomous driving, who is Manmohan Chandrakar, who also had come, who had also test drive this vehicle. And so you can understand that we are trying to build a culture of even making sure that very soon the government is going to tell every state has to mandatorily ensure that before you give driving license, a driver has to do being tested on a simulator. Now there are so many simulators by Maruti and all. If you see, those simulators are so simple that anyone can just close their eyes and drive. That is not how you want. You want the driver to be attentive while driving. So we are trying to build a simulator which will be instantly creating such critical situations like a pedestrian is going to cross suddenly and the driver need to be attentive while driving. One mistake, it will show the result that the pedestrian, the driver has made a mistake and license might be barred for another 6 months, kind of thing. So we want to make this and propose. Okay, and this is where we are venturing into. The first level will go for driving schools and then we will touch up with the RTOs. This is how we need to grow. See, there are problems that you can solve. All these are problems. Where are they coming from? We are creating the problem, we are solving. We know that the problems are around us only. So that is why we say that need is to pick local problem. As Dr. Sandeep was telling, rural things start from there. Local problems, go to regional, go to national, think now about global. There is no point hitting global immediately. Start from here. Then you will find where you go. Okay, so one of the things we are trying to do is, can we predict the potential accidents before they happen? So we were talking about the accidents that happen in India and there is a lot of fatalities India is facing. How do we overcome this? We did work on this project. The major cause is the black spots, what we call. Maybe some of you would already be knowing what is black spots, but for people who don't know, I have written there, you can read. And to resolve each of the black spot, it takes almost 3 years. By the, probably you can say, not kind of a thing. So every municipal corporation will take so much time to resolve one black spot. Simple to you, if there is a pothole, you always will tell that you are passing through the road only, you will say that, hey, there is a pothole, there is a pothole. The pothole will be only expanding. The cracks will be expanding. Nobody will come and solve it. After 3 years or so, you will find that, okay, there is again a thar to come. By that time, what would have happened? You can just imagine. So can it be solved much faster? Is the thought that we have, and we started a project in 2021 known as iRaste, project iRaste what we call, where grey area today, that means the pothole or the crack is happening, the black hole which can become tomorrow, which will be a larger black hole, how we can solve before it becomes a black hole. So grey spot to a black spot before it gets converted, you need to resolve it. Okay? So don't ignore the danger in grey spots is what we say before it becomes a black spot. And I think we ventured this to start. For this Nagpur, iRaste, for the iRaste project, we started with the Nagpur as such municipal corporation, and we built kind of a road safety system where we mounted, if you see, the cameras for driver monitoring, checking. So there is, Intel was in collaboration with us. We built a Mobileye kind of an eye tracking thing which will tell, okay, driver is dizzy or no, and immediately it will alert the driver. We also built on the road to watch if there is some kind of ADAS kind of system, if there is anyone who is passing or if there is any road surface which is bad, and alert the driver or give a warning to the driver, oh, just see, make sure that you brake accordingly, kind of information. So DMS and ADAS were mounted, and then there was somebody who would always be monitoring on the other end. Okay, and this was like a platoon of buses on which it was fitted in Nagpur. Like you have these local buses which will travel in the city, and it was test drive for 500 buses. And believe us, it was enormous, and this led us to say that academia and industry partnership were very important. Who was the industry over here? Intel collaborated with us, to venture into this project. This is how the collaboration starts. What did they give us? They gave us only sensors, cameras to be used. Okay, and this we are now extending in this year 2023 onwards into Telangana also. Telangana government has accepted that model and they are calling now iRaste Telangana also. If you guys also are interested and see, you can also talk to us and we can take this forward. Believe me, this gave us to say what we can do today. So that's where I say what we do is what we have been doing. I'll just play a video. Maybe you can just play the video then.
Video this side. Video.
Mouse is there. Yeah, you can. This is the iRaste project. There is no audio. Yeah. Your side audio is on. Yeah. So you can watch this project. It's there. Just go back. Hit finish. You went forward.
Volume model. Volume model.
On the laptop, volume is good. Volume.
Infrastructure efficiencies play a critical role. Every year, 1.5 million dollars. This translates into a growing fact is that most of these accidents India is one of the fastest.
Manage bottle. Scale that.
There is no issue on the laptop.
Sounds
Volume is full.
लैपटॉप से स्पीकर काढा तिथे माइक ठेवा लॅपटॉपचे स्पीकर आवाज बाहेर काढायला लॅपटॉपचा स्पीकर जोडा तो माइक डबल माइक
Project iRaste is an initiative. Nagpur and Telangana are accelerating the safe systems approach to road safety with AI. Launched in 2000, Project iRaste is the first of its kind initiative to upgrade the form of framework for road safety, artificial intelligence, data, predictive insights generated by AI about accidents.
दोन्ही जवळ नको आणि दोन्ही जवळ आलं कोलॅबरेशन
By drivers, large commercial vehicles, it reduced risk for vulnerable users. This is addressed by ETBS devices. Classroom training is replaced with cabin training. Innovative campaigns encourage drivers to remain safe. Proactive identification of infrastructure risk is a challenge today. Using ADAS
Now prioritize on dynamic progress.
Project iRaste was conceptualized to take a holistic approach to road safety.
is an important reason for road accidents. However, infrastructure deficiencies play a critical role too. Every year, 1.5 lakh lives are lost on India's roads. This translates to a death every 4 minutes. The alarming fact is that most of these accidents can be prevented. India has one of the fastest growing highway networks in the world. Project iRaste is an initiative to ensure that it will also be the safest. Nagpur and Telangana are accelerating the Safe Systems approach to road safety with AI. Launched in 2021, Project iRaste is a first of its kind initiative globally to upgrade the 4E framework for road safety leveraging artificial intelligence and data analytics. Predictive insights generated by AI can avert accidents even before they occur. Defensive driving by drivers of large commercial vehicles can reduce risk for vulnerable road users. This is addressed by AI-based ADAS and DMS devices that predict road risk. Classroom training is replaced with cabin training. Innovative campaigns encourage drivers to remain safe on road. Proactive identification of infrastructure risk is a challenge today. Using ADAS alerts, an up-to-date gray spot map predicts road risk. Gray spot mapping avoids the need for manual surveys. The time to report a potential black spot reduces to just 3 months. Remedial measures at black spots and gray spots are now prioritized based on dynamic progress.
Project iRaste was conceptualized to take a holistic approach to road safety that essentially combines measures from multiple disciplines into an integrated approach. In this project, we are combining computer vision algorithms, AI-based prediction models, transportation engineering, awareness programs, driver monitoring systems, and black spot intervention programs into an integrated approach. Project iRaste is now India's largest study for ADAS on commercial vehicles, covering more than 500 buses within Nagpur and Bangalore.
Technology is integrated into the 4 E's of road safety, real change can happen. All Raste can now be an iRaste.
So you can see that the venture what we started in 2021, it has now brought in a way that Nagpur solves this kind of black spots or grey spot problems in just 3 months. Earlier it was 3 years, now came down to 3 months. And this is where now where Telangana also is moving up. And they are also trying to solve this. And this kind of a problem is very high actually in the rural roads or on the external highways, okay, where it is not easy to carry these kind of very heavyweight equipments to actually even polish them.
From the beginning.
Yeah, so some of the other projects that we are also working, which might be also very funny and simple. We always say that projects start from very simple things. What does that mean? The simple thing would be, can you even imagine to do a tree count? Why do we need to do it? Okay, so you can mute the sound. Mute it. Yes. I hope it doesn't. You can play. I hope it doesn't. Yeah. Don't need sound. See, usually we talk about tree counting. What's the use? If you are trying to consider that if I mount a vehicle, two-wheeler, with focusing towards the side wing, Imagine on the road, and if you start moving the vehicle, what are you counting? Trees. What's the use of that? Maybe it will help basically for the survey. What kind of a survey you already now understand, even in civil engineering, this is very important for to consider, that the need for environment to be safe, whether the vegetation as such is appropriate or not, what is the change in the dynamics. Okay, so you can always see that tree counting will help us to find out how many trees are there across the road, if not, can be planted. Okay, so and you can also take it further to say what is the age of the tree by this way, counting. Then see whether the trees are going to fall, what could be the immediate remedial things that can be taken prior on action. This is a very small project what we started. Now it has landed up with many people trying to ask for, take it now to probably traffic light kind of counting. How many traffic lights are on during night, how many are off. So this project led us into that specific things now. Because nights we see that at certain places there are no traffic lights to be on. So you can always think that one problem you solve, how does it shape? Let us go further into the next one. I'm just not going to talk about these videos. Next slide. Okay. So the next one is traffic violation. You all see that there is a violation of traffic rules on the road. What are we doing? We just stop. So we initiated that let us solve this problem also with a small thing. What did we do? Helmet violations if somebody is not wearing helmet. And we are not using any kind of a survey camera. Believe me, we are just running a vehicle. What vehicle? It's the 4-wheeler what we have or the 2-wheeler what I showed. These vehicles, our vehicles. They capture and they tell. Oh, can you play the video? Hello? Yeah, so we are trying to use this to do a helmet violations kind of a thing, whether somebody is wearing a helmet or not. Okay. Also, we are trying to see that in this phenomena, we also extended it to triple riding. Whether there is triple riding people are doing. You see that very common that many people do triple riding. So such kind of small incremental things when you start doing project, you should start taking it to next levels. Not that I do one project, I then jump to another project. Always a project need to be incrementally taken to a larger level. Should not stop it. This is what we started saying. Yeah, this is autonomous wheelchair. I think every university today does autonomous wheelchair, but none of the autonomous wheelchairs are progressing so great across. Like we are trying to build a vision language navigation based system where we say that go to table 1, take a left, go to table 2, now take a right and exit. It starts doing this. So we built even that kind of an ecosystem, and I think you are not playing the video. So like say, go to table 1, gate 2 and table 4. We just instruct. It's a natural language. It has to start doing. So on the bottom side we are showing the SLAM kind of a localization where how it is progressing in that overall structure. It also ensures that it does not interact with the obstacles, okay? Doesn't collide. So we have this in our lab. You can always come and watch. We are expanding it to next levels, and we see that there is a need of this for many people now. Many startups have come forward to get collaborated on these projects. It's very easy to say to do, but it is very hard when you want to make it local and to India specifically with low resources. Okay, we don't want to take any high-end gadgets over. We are trying to always use kind of camera-based solutions. Everything. Okay, let's move ahead in consideration of the time. Can you just? Yeah. So in summary, I'm just trying to say over here is like what is important. It is just not the algorithm. Remember, professors might say, write an algorithm, write a model, do. No. The important thing is the data. First, the algorithm, and then the need of it. Where are you going to use it? Its use case. All put together, when you solve, you might start now finding its relevance to either government, vehicle manufacturing, vehicle owners, citizens, seniorship, or anyone. You should find its viability. Then this can be into kind of you say that I solve this problem, like road safety, sustainability. People always start, I would say, from here. But then, for a student, this is very important. And I just showed you is what is this what we are doing, and we know where we should take. So our approach is always from the lab, we want to take it into the local markets. Okay. I think I can use my slide. So this is one of the directions how you should think for research proposal grants. I just showed you one example, you can say, but put it in a very solid form of saying mobility as such in higher is one of the funded project. Maybe the funding is not small, but maybe it is enormous. But you will understand that what is the goal? A data-driven smart mobility system we want to develop. We are at the beginning stage only, nothing great. But this is where we want to take it to. In this direction, what are the kind of proposals what you can write and how you can shape it to take further. So I'll just take last 5 minutes to talk about proposals as such. Maybe I'm taking too much time. Okay, so the track is like research proposal grants, what you talk about, how should you write, and probably first thing I'll tell is you might have, if you are writing research proposal, you see that these are the things what are expected. Like name and details, then title of the project, introduction, methodology. There are different forms of things people say. Introduction to the background, or project summary, problem statement could be objective, could be methodology, could be origin of proposal, something like this, expected outcomes, deliverables, budget plan, references. These are the things, very simple, very easy, nothing great, but things are very complicated because simplicity is always complex. We can write complex things very nicely, but bringing in a simple form is very hard. Okay, so let me talk about basically first, let us start with the title of the project. We always underestimate or ignore the importance of how we write a title also. Okay, for example, I am giving you case level example. I will not take any general statements. I am giving one case example that I would like to explain. Maybe you can use this as kind of a mechanism to consider if you want to write. Say I take building a driving simulator for Indian roads. Okay, if I want to do. This is my title. See, the title is very simple, but it has so many complex words in itself that proving is not so simple. Okay, and receiving that for funding means you should ensure that you are meeting out the title. Okay, so title is fine. Ensure that title shouldn't be bad. I see many titles, they are bad. Okay, be careful. Why do I say that? Believe me, I work with a professor known as Professor C.V. Jawad. He is, I think, Dr. Sandeep sir would be knowing. He is kind of a person who is in AI space. We call him nation at least is number one, number 2 vision. I work with him, so he's my mentor, you can call. That's where I moved to IIIT to work specifically under him to do research. He reviews so many proposals. Believe me, he explains me stories on how people write proposals and what he explains. Okay, that's why I'm trying to churn it and explain you what is expected for you when you write a research proposal. Title is very important. It catches the attention of the reviewer. What does reviewer see? You might write 100 pages kind of a proposal. Reviewer will only spend first 1 minute to glance the proposal. It will give for them whether to accept further reading or rejection. 90% of them fall. Should we want to be there? No. Which means our effort should be immense in ensuring that it doesn't lose their attention. So what is important? Every point is important that they have asked for. Like title. Second, we'll go to introduction, or people call it as project summary. What is expected? We all might be knowing it is like overview of the complete proposal with problem being solved. Remember, it is not just that statement. I have written the word later. It's a story lined with appropriate figures which is needed to explain there that what is that you are going to do in the whole proposal writing that you are explaining, or in fact what you are going to do, you will tell them. It's a story what you have to build. Why should I write a story? It's a proposal. Remember, story is only what is going to catch attention. Okay? Even a student or probably anyone would like to understand something or take it is only if you tell in a story manner, right? This is where pedagogical teaching also people will say and all. Here also in research it is like that only when you write proposal, but then they may not say. You have to write it like that. It should give an attention. So story is very important while you are writing of the proposal, which need to carry the summary of the whole thing what you want to say. And remember never to forget to put figures. You might ask what kind of figures. I'll give you some paper examples which you can always catch as an attention to put figures. You try to see some top conference papers in your specific areas. You'll see that there will be first figure which will appear in the paper, known as teaser figure, what we call, on the first page. How much effort they would have put to prepare that teaser figure. It's something like when somebody says that today there is a new movie that is going to release, there's a teaser video. I think for this also there was a teaser video. You can remember. So what is that? It is trying to tell you the simplicity in a way that somebody can catch attention. Same thing is needed even in your proposal. There is attention to understand. Okay, the third thing could be in introduction sometimes they ask problem statement or separately. Problem statement or objectives that are asked. So I am giving you an example for the case one what I have written. This problem statement could be something like this. I have broken it written, but you can write it in a paragraph or you can write as points. These days people are interested if you write in points. Okay? So explore the development of driving simulator for Indian road conditions. The word I am writing over here is explore the development. See, I am not straight away telling that I will develop. Okay? I want to ensure that is there a possibility? If so, I am going to explore the whole thing about the need for it. So need is very important. Then build a portable triple simulator I am telling. So I am going to build a simulator means I am going to build. What is the way I am going to build? So based on my exploration, I understand so many things are there already. So let me now build what I want to propose. So that is what I am trying to write. Build a portable triple monitor driving simulator platform setup with cost-effective hardware and software. So the question could be that why should they accept? There are so many simulators already available. You should be telling that I will make something where it is cost-effective in terms of hardware and software. Okay? So that is what. And most of the time people today want is software, not what you build. People want you to use open source software and on that build wrappers. Why? The reason is open source softwares are well tested, well proven. If you can prepare on it your solution, acceptable. If you say I will build from scratch, it might take years. Proposal writing will not give you a value. You will say that in 1 year I will finish or in 3 years. They know that you will never finish. So acceptance is very tough there. So words using carefully is important, like open source software. In order to model driver behavior, so why am I doing this? I want to ensure that this simulator what I am building is going to model how the driver is behaving. I am not simply building a simulator and selling it. No, I want to ensure that how driver will behave on this simulator I want to test. And train the driver in Indian traffic condition. I also want to ensure that in my whole project, I give you an extra thing that I want to ensure that I want to train the drivers. Why is this I am adding over here? The reason is, whenever you are trying to write a proposal, people just don't want you to give algorithm or paper publications. Now proposals are expecting one step ahead. They say that what is the outcome? Are you going to say that I am going to train so many set of people? Are you going to create a product and sell? These are the kind of questions that are coming. So one step ahead you should start thinking and tell I will also do this and you should prove that. Okay? So this problem statement if you see is very simple with important keywords. If you are watching, this gives you an entire outline of what are you trying to do, and if this can catch the attention, you are done. Next level to review. Next level to review, it is not acceptance. Okay? I'll also show you quickly a bad proposal writing. I hope that don't take this as kind of a reason for blaming anyone, but just I'm trying to show people say that okay, mine is very good. Just I'm telling you how could also be a bad proposal. Take an example like somebody want to write motorbike driver probably driving monitoring system. First of all, the title itself is so vague that motorbike driving monitoring system. Okay, it does not give what you want to give out. If you start seeing the problem statement, it is mixture of many things. Only pick the highlighted things, what I have written. People say design and implement a comprehensive Okay, bike rider monitoring system that accurately detects and analyzes the behavior of rider during bike riders. It's not a simple problem to solve in just 1 year or 3 years. You are making such heavy statements there. Acceptability is not so easy. Why? Bike rider monitoring, comprehensive bike rider monitoring system. You are trying to put comprehensive first of all. Okay, the word comprehensive is, if I say I am trying to create 10 data sets, I'll say it's a comprehensive data set, which means 10 data sets. Imagine you are telling over here something like that. A comprehensive word. System that accurately detects and analyzes. You are telling accurately detects and analyzes. How are you trying to put next mileage in your proposal? See, these are all words you would have definitely used. Put. The reviewer also knows that, see, reviewer also is like you only. They have also come from similar backgrounds. They are very clever. They understand when you put these words. That what you are trying to put. So you should be very careful. Don't even try to say extra things that you cannot do. Don't even try to say, okay, very less also. It should be moderate in a way that okay, it's acceptable. See, the statements that people sometimes write in problem statement is they write heavy literature kind of thing. Again, they'll break what they wrote is like install a first person camera system. So they want to tell all these in problem statement. Why do you even talk about this in problem statement? First person camera system for the probably the drive two-wheeler, then analyze the recorded footage using video processing. Do they even give anything over here in problem statement? No. They even talk about so many things like identifying and evaluating bike rider behaviors and all. Nothing is to be mentioned over here at this level. You just need to talk kind of a problem what I am telling, very simplistic. People want. Nothing great. Okay? So even blowing is not good. Blow what you can do, not beyond. So then if you move on, then methodology will play a more important role, or I'll probably call it as origin of the proposal. So what should be there over here in the methodology? Detailed discussion on each of the modules. What are those each of the modules? You have to first start with the appropriate figure, which will capitalize on the overall methodology that you are trying to develop for this system. For example, if it is driving simulation part. I'm not putting over here because of some confidentiality, I'm not putting all the diagrams, but then these are the things I'm trying to say. Explain each module very thoroughly. I see that people don't explain them thoroughly. They just give vaguely. Now you might ask a question, why should I even explain a methodology over here, or my IP is on stake or something and all. Believe me, if you are submitting a proposal, you are expecting money, then you should be open. You should put that. If you are not putting, then where are you disclosing about your information? So that need to be very clear. Now there could be also a question that until I don't get a grant, why do I even know, or how do I even know how to write how to solve this problem? So I'm not clear at methodology and write vaguely. Well, that is also not accepted. Usually proposals are to be written only after initial amount of work that you have done on that problem. So let's say I capitalized on it for 6 months to a year. I am now able enough to take it to next mileage. Let me now write a proposal very well in a way that it will work for 2-3 years. This is how you should go. Not that I have very good idea, I will write a proposal, submit. They will that time ask, do you have any work already in line to that? That is a harder thing to answer that. So you should establish yourself to some extent before even capitalizing on it. So that is very important. So in our case, I am just trying to talk that if you talk about this case one, the kind of modules you have is hardware setup, simulator setup, and we have considered research extensions. You can see how the fragments are divided. What is hardware setup? I am just trying to say that I made a very exhaustive survey watching driving schools. For example, if you see driving schools like dash dash dash, industries dash dash dash, and probably government bodies dash dash dash, who already have hardwares. Why should I write this exclusively and tell them? Because you are telling that I made an explorative survey to know what is existing before I propose very clearly. This should be the level of survey that it is almost like writing a paper on it. Okay? Then I'll say we plan to build a simulator which acts as a platform for driver training and research for safe driving in Indian conditions. Design a triple monitor simulator setup. Give a proper figure and explain. That would be the hardware. You give all the hardware features what are essential for it. So I'm not disclosing over here. Then the other module is a simulator setup, for example, over here. Software simulator would be deployed on the hardware. You need to always connect every module with the other module. You cannot just make it independent module. So deploy on the hardware setup and demonstrate the vehicle controls. Should also be very clear in what you want to do with the software. Okay. So now when you say demonstrate, you are connecting both the software and the hardware together. Then what are the researches you want to also extend to? See, always review proposals today, people see extra thing that you want to do. So I'll say that I want to research extensions. What kind? Organize some brainstorming sessions with eminent people, like what you are organizing now, a conference or workshops or something. Then research focusing on solving some problems, I will say. These all things I am trying to do. Again, you need to give a breakup of how much time you need to do each one of them, but this is how you should venture into. Then there will be next kind of a step where you need to write expected outcome and or expected outputs. So discussion of this has to be done with appropriate bulleted points. Usually we need to put them in bulleted points, and you should also give quarterly milestones. Just to summarize over here, you can see I have given here for this what are the expected outcomes is like establishing a research community focused on simulators in India, if you see. So yeah, I'm trying to say that we want to ensure that we bring up a community. Expected outcome is not like your objectives. No. Expected outcome is what will be the outcome after you do this. So that's where you are trying to say that I want to build a research community which will focus on in this space. Then advocating the importance of simulator in India. I will ensure that it plays an important role in India. Then interactively showcasing the simulator everywhere in India where it becomes a viable solution and collaborate with many people to grow it at advanced level. This should be the expected outcome, something like this. Okay? And quarterly milestones, you have to give quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3 what you want to do. Okay? Then maybe deliverables you have to give always in terms of publications, products, patents, etc. This you won't be doing all this. With proper split up of maybe if it is 1 year, then 6 months, 12 months what, or if it is 3 years, every year what you want to do. With according, see, important expected is numbers. People want always it to be quantitative. Okay, you just cannot say I do blah 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 blah. Okay. Then budget details you should give. Put a proper budget table. If it is quarterly, give it, or yearly, give it yearly properly. Give manpower, equipment, travel, contingency, consumables. But then remember that many people forget to explain them the reason for each of these cases. So it is very important to explain the component very clearly. You cannot give vague calls. Okay, you need to explain why you want these equipments. You might write, I want 5 crores, 5 lakhs for this. But why 5 lakhs is needed for that, you need to explain. You cannot say that I will only purchase this. No. Why 5 lakhs? Everybody wants a reason for that. So you should very clearly explain all those things that are needed properly. You might find it is what is there to explain, they know already. No. They want to see your perspective. Then more importantly, I see that most of the people lack in connecting your references with what you write. Which means most of the time the references are not related to what you could have written in the proposal. So believe me, people who are reviewing also see the references, and those references need to be very well established references. You cannot give any references like anything that is not soundable to the proposal where you are submitting. Okay, it should be high quality. So that all connectivity and cross-citing is very important. Some people forget even doing that. So this is what I wanted to give. Maybe more details we can also see afterwards, probably during lunch. So I'll just probably quickly joining or remotely joining to learn these courses. We also do a lot of research collaborations with many institutions. We also have summer research internships for students. Like Srishti is one very common thing. This Srishti is different from another Srishti what might be happening. This is specifically for IIIT kind of Srishti. There are symposiums and workshops that happen. You can always be a part of it. We also train a lot of faculties. Okay. So this kind of things are already there in IHOP website. You can always look into that and probably get connected. This is for faculty as well as for students. We have call for proposals for faculty, and we have fellowships for students. Fellowships is where students want to do project independently also, maybe with or without a guide. They want to spend 3 months to 6 months at that place and learn. Whereas call for proposals are always open for faculty in different forms. You can always apply to different call for proposals which are there on the site. Okay. We already have some startups that are in collaboration with us. So we work with government, industry, academia and NGOs as such. We are always expanding in this sector. So contact us if you have anything, and probably work for the advantage of India rather than just artificial intelligence. Okay, that's it from me. I think I've taken long time. Sorry about that. So if you have any questions, we can have during lunch. Not before. Okay. Thank you.
Now I request all the dignitaries to please sit back on the stage. Thank you, sir, for the wealth of knowledge and expertise that you bring to this gathering today. Once, Steve Jobs said, technology is nothing. What's important is that you have faith in people, that they are basically good and smart, and if you give them certain tools, they will create wonders out of them. As we have come to the final stage of this our inauguration ceremony for ETBS 2024, let us reflect on this profound words of vote of thanks. On behalf of Sanjeevani College of Engineering, I, Professor Pooja Chobe from Electrical Engineering Department, extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the organizers, sponsors, and volunteers who have dedicated their time and effort to make this conference a reality. Your hard work and commitment have laid the foundation for what promises to be a successful event. I also want to express my sincere appreciation to our esteemed authorities, Honorable Shri Nitin Dada Kolde, Honorable Shri Amit Dada Nitin Dada Kolde, and Dr. A.J. Thakur, sir, for their direct and indirect support. Their contributions are invaluable, and we eagerly anticipate the enlightening discussions and presentations that await us. To our esteemed delegates, Dr. Sandeep Sanjeti sir and Dr. Shankar Gangi Shetty sir, thank you for their participation and enthusiasm. Your presence enriches the conference experience, and I encourage everyone to actively engage with your fellow attendees and seize networking opportunities and to make most of this valuable gathering. We are truly honored to host such a distinguished gathering of biomedical experts, researchers, scholars, innovators, and enthusiasts from around the globe. Your presence represents a convergence of diverse perspectives and experiences, which will undoubtedly lead to a fruitful collaborations and advancement in science and technology. In closing, I wish you all a fruitful and memorable conference experience. May ETBS 2024 inspire us to push the boundaries of innovation, forge new collaborations, and make meaningful contributions to the advancements of science and technology. I would like to inform you that there are 6 parallel sessions scheduled on Monday, that is 29th of April 2024, starting from 10 am onwards in virtual mode. With this, I hereby conclude the inaugural ceremony, and you may proceed with your respective engagements. Thank you all, thank you once again, and best wishes for a successful conference. Thank you.
अरे त्याला 2 सेकंद होल्ड करावं लागेल बटनाला तेव्हा बंद
दिवस कोणते